Hey everyone, I'm Garrett from Naked Famous Denim. Today with another fade review. We're going to be looking at the Dirty Fade Selvedge and how it goes from this to this. But before we do, you know the drill. Hit that like button, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Okay, so we got this beautiful Dirty Fade pair here, and people might be asking, why is it called Dirty Fade? Well, the Dirty Fade, they're not actually dirty, but it has kind of a dirty tinge to it once you fade them, because what we do is we start with a kind of an off-white ecru natural colored yarn that's not completely bleached and white, and coat that yarn with indigo. Of course, it goes through the rope dyeing system, so up and down, and indigo coats the outside of the yarn, but it doesn't penetrate all the way into the core, so that kind of brownish off-white core of the yarn stays that color. And then as it fades, as the indigo chips away, as it rubs off, then you get that lovely dirty fade color coming through. Okay, let's get started here. Starting from the top, as usual, one thing I noticed right away is this is an older pair here. You can see that's the old label, the old woven label. Here's a new one for comparison, which is sewn on just on the sides. This one's sewn all the way around, and it's kind of like a lower pixel density or stitch count, I guess you could say. And so it just looks a little bit different, but you can tell it's an older pair. Another thing that you can tell right away is the fly. Look how short that fly is. Back in the day, people liked lower rise. This is a skinny guy fit 32 sent in by Mr. Yang. So shout out to Mr. Yang. Thanks for sending these in. And one thing I also noticed right away is this hardware. And it's very interesting because when I first looked at this pair, I thought, wait a minute, did we do these in a black hardware? And I'm like, no, we didn't. Did we do it in an antique copper? No, this is actually the tin hardware that has oxidized. So let's do a little before and after here. This is the same hardware, the tin hardware. And because this is probably like 10 years old at least, over time, it will oxidize and kind of turn to this darker color, and that's if there's no abrasion. If there's something rubbing on this, then it will probably polish up a little bit more and stay a brighter color. But you can see here, there's kind of the before and after of what it looked like originally and what it looks like now. And also you can see here on the rivets as well, not as much, but the rivets have patinaed as well. They've started to corrode. Anyways, cool little detail there. Back to the fades here, it looks like the waistband is in really good condition. Just a little bit of fading on the front here. Small fly placket, a little bit of fading on this raised area here where it was kind of bunching up. Coming down, again, this was the skinny guy fit. So it looks like these were worn pretty tight. You can see these very horizontal whiskers in the crotch kind of area. But nicely faded, nice vintage fade, and it really looks good with that dirty fade colors. Coming down a little bit lower, we have the thigh area, and the thigh is beautifully faded, very even fading. No damages to report, no repairs so far. The knees also textbook fades here, a nice soft fade in the middle of the knee area. It looks like his right knee was down a little bit more than left because it's slightly more fade on this side, and then we have these beautiful lines kind of pointing off from that knee area as well. Coming down below on the shins, a little bit of fading on the side here, and then you can see this grading. It drops off to the darker indigo here, which makes me think that maybe these were cuffed. So we're gonna have to check and see here. On the outside, we can see a little bit of cracking, a little bit of wear, maybe an indication of a cuff. So let's look on the inside here. So on the inside, I can see a little bit of a crease here. So there is some evidence of a cuff. And yeah, there's some more evidence here. So these, you can see here, these lines were created when there was a cuff and this was kind of rubbing against the shoe, or what this was at the bottom where the fold was. So at some point in time, these were cuffed, maybe like that, and maybe once more, something like that. I think that's how these were cuffed, because you can see here that once you unroll this, it starts to get a little bit darker and a little bit darker, and then it's almost untouched here. That's just the washing machine that's faded it a little bit. Let's do a little side by side here. so you can see how it starts and how it looks if you just give it a few washes. This one, I don't have the story on this pair of jeans, so I don't know how many times they have been washed, but I'd say it's probably a decent amount on this pair because they are fairly faded, but there isn't any major like holes or rips, which would tell me that they were probably washed a good amount of times. Coming around to the back, we start to see a lot more fades here, very bright on the seat area. Starting at the top here, belt loops, a lot of abrasion. So he was definitely sitting down or leaning up against a lot of stuff because the belt loops on the front, look at that, versus the belt loops on the back, a lot more wear. So he's definitely sitting down or rubbing up against something. Same with the whole seat area, a lot of fading going on. The patch looks like it's been shrunk down, so probably a hot wash, maybe a run through the dryer because it is shrinking a little bit there, but overall still good condition on that patch. The yoke, you can see quite a small yoke here, a little bit of puckering along the seam there on the bottom of the yoke and down to the pockets. Beautiful fading, but no, almost a hole starting to form here. It just almost wants to break through there, but no holes yet. Coming down, we have the crotch. Really cool grid-shaped repair on the crotch. Whoever did this repair was very methodical, and they have kind of a nice grid going on there. On this other side here, we can see this is, I'd say, more of a like a traditional repair, something that I would do, where you just kind of zigzag back and forth, make a little shape. Let's take a look at the inside. Oh, it's actually one piece of fabric. Interesting. I'm interested why they did kind of one style of repair on one side and a different style of repair. Oh, you know why? It's because it was repaired twice. There you go. So you can see there was a repair here and then an additional repair on top of that. All right, now this is what really drew me into this faded pair was these honeycombs in the back. I actually found these in the store. They were being displayed in the store so that people coming in the store can get an idea of what the Dirty Fade's gonna look like, you know, before and after. But man, look at these honeycombs. These are textbook honeycombs, tight, very well defined, nice 3D pop to them. I would say these are S tier honeycombs. This is what you want in your honeycombs. Let's do a little side by side. Look at that. Look at the difference. Amazing. Coming down, we got some calf fades for sure going on here, especially on the outside. So a little bit more fading on the outside, so that's interesting. And then down at the bottom, a little bit of damage, a little bit of wear. But yeah, you can see that line where it was cuffed for sure right there. Okay, so let's do a little, I'll try to do a side by side here. So there we go. There's the front. And there's the back, before and after, the Dirty Fade Selvedge from Naked Famous Denim. If you have a pair that you're not wearing anymore, maybe you've done fading them, you grew out of them, for whatever reason, you're not wearing them anymore, let us know, send us some pictures. And if they're faded enough, we can take them in and hook you up with a discount code for your next order. I want to thank you for sticking around until the very end. If you haven't already, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.